kind of a warm and toasty early summer day there. Kind of hot there. And today we're going to get started. We got some very interesting topics for y'all. Thank you all guys for joining us in today. And we're going to start today. Today, Miss Nikki G, she had to go and answer to the boss man. So we got somebody standing in for her. I think she's waiting on Dave. She can box his jaws. She's waiting on Uncle Dave so she can box his jaws. I think we don't put a name on the air, so I'm gonna make a name up for her. We're gonna call her Mrs. Helen Highwater. How you doing there, Miss Helen Highwater? How you doing?
Good morning, saints and sinners.
Yeah, just stick right up into the object. I think you know how to do it.
Good morning, saints and sinners.
A lot of sinners around here too. Yep, and of course over there, he over there drinking his juice. What's that boy? Is that some Monster?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be jumping off the walls in a minute, aren't you? Well, we'll bring some of that hot energy. Hey, Sonia, how you doing there, girl? And my girl, Michelle. Wave both of them. How y'all doing there today? And my boy, what, did you grow some hair this week? Did you? Yeah, did you? Didn't? No, you just want to say what's up. Huh? You
yeah, what's
grow
up?
No hair.
No hair.
No
I may get some weave one day.
My boy Head Savage over here, of course, he still ain't growing no hair. And of course, I DJ, he over there on the wheels is still the man with no name. How you doing there, bro?
Feeling good, feeling great. How are you, sir?
All right. He actually speaks this week. Boy, look, we're going to have us a great show today.
Won't he do it?
Yeah, won't he do it? Won't he will he won't? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So let's go in today. I'm not going to lie. I think this country has become, hey, Karen, how you doing there, sweetie? Is this country kind of become like a revolving reality show? Every week, it's like some interesting stuff going on. So let's talk about that. We've been talking about today what happened in the country this week. Miss Roseanne decided, for whatever her reason was, she wanted to go around here and start talking about black folk, or should I say at least have black folk. Start calling them monkeys and baboons and whatever. And she got her show canceled. And, of course, the first thing the right wing did is they came and defended her, saying that what she said was, of course, free speech. Hey, Angela, how you doing, darling? Was free speech. And I guess I'm a little appalled. I'm a little appalled because it seems now that racism in this country, and what I'm not, and it's not like racism has really went anywhere, but racism, overt racism, open racism is now being normalized. Okay. So is that what it is nowadays, that people can say whatever they want to say and it can be as racist as it want to be and people should be allowed to say it? I mean, have we gotten to that point? And the problem is we have a president. Oh, my goodness. Oh, hey, Mr. Dyer, how you doing there, bro? The problem is we have a president who dives into the fray of extreme views, and he has allowed it to flourish. And it started, of course, with his campaign back in 2006, in 2015, when he started labeling people of brown skin and color and immigrants. And it has come down to a point that now he's in office, however the Russians got him in, that he feels that he can say whatever he wants to say, how he wants to say it, and people can say whatever they want to say, how they want to say it. Now, understand this from Django. You can say whatever you want to say, but when you throw beer at my car, when I'm in North Arkansas, you will get punched in the mouth. Okay? I'm just going to let you understand. Hey, Charm, how you doing? You will get punched up, it puncheth in the moutheth. And, back in my days, in my deacon days, I always thought that, when God put a calling on my life to go and get into church and preach the good talk, he was going to get me away from them old Brooklyn habits. But, whooping behind is probably a habit that I'm really used to. So let's talk about that. Helen Highwater, what's going on with that? Is that what's going on in this country, that people now have just gotten to the point that they just going to say whatever they want to say to us and about us, and we're going to let that slide?
Well, I don't think it's a question of us letting it slide. It's we're just so adept to hearing it so often. And like you said, it's been normalized. So now if they call us monkeys, if they say we're from Planet of the Apes, it's no big deal. when in the 60s or whatever, it used to be public outrage. We can't believe it. We're going to march. We're
Right.
going to do this. But now that typically doesn't happen until, Ferguson, or you have an incident where someone is killed, or the words, I think we're going back to that old adage, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. So you can say what you want to say. Call me the N-word. Say whatever you want, just as long as you don't touch me. But they are touching us. They're shooting us in public. And what are we doing as a unit? A couple of weeks ago, we had our superhero bragging about how we as a people need to get together and we need to do this, we need to do that. And I never did get an answer as to what he was doing, but there is a need for us to kind of stand as a unit.
Yeah, Head Sanford, help me out here. Because, see, I'm trying to avoid, I got to go to North Arkansas to work this week. I don't want to have to punch nobody in the mouth.
Well, Trump going to say whatever he wants. I mean, we got Twitter. Twitter is nothing but a bunch of haters. That's all Twitter is. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
People say what they want all day, every day on Twitter.
And look what he did this week. He went and pardoned Dinesh D'Souza. Now, for those of you guys who look young, Dinesh D'Souza got his highlight on Oprah Winfrey Show when she first started, back in 1990, actually. And the first controversial uproar he did is that he stated that slavery was not about race, but it was about economics. I saw the show. I ain't going to lie. I was in college, and he was putting this big, and he was just really going back and forth with people, talking about, truth be told, there was never really no racial aspect in it, and da-da-da, and slavery was about economics. They wanted to build money, they wanted to build wealth in this country. Now, part of that is true.
Right.
They did want to build wealth in this country. They did. And that's what has happened. They have to affect slavery. You have a big stratification of people who are very wealthy from generational wealth from back in the slavery days. Tracts of land. You see it all down south. People. When I go up here, let me tell you something. When I go here and I see people down here with big tracts of land driving through Arkansas, Arkansas as they call it. Arkansas. When I drive through Arkansas, I see these big tracts of land. These people didn't buy this land the last 10 years. That stuff has been in their family. Those were plantations. That was stuff that had been passed down from father to grandfather to great-grandfather and everything. So what we understand, it was about economics, but they also used the people that they used as chattel. To that they didn't have to pay. They weren't going to have to pay. They had no rights to say anything against their own enslavement. And they used us to work their fields for free, and that's how they built their wealth. Because you can build a lot of wealth real quickly if you have no overhead. True. If you have 200 people working, picking your cotton, and ain't nobody sitting around here getting paid, you can get rich real quick.
Remember the accounting formula.
Yes. Oh,
remember the accounting formula.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's like this. Assets minus your expenses equals profit. Mm-hmm. If you have no expenses, it's all profit.
Right. So, all profit. So he made his that's how he made his bones with that interview on Oprah. That's when he was just really coming out. And over the years he has said some horribly racist, right wing concern. And this is not a white guy. This is a brown man.
Yeah. He even said
he blacker than a patent leather shoe.
He even justified what was he saying? Something about when the British came in India.
Yeah.
He justified that.
Yeah.
Colonialism. He justified it.
Yeah, and I don't understand. Let's just be real about the human condition. Because we're going to talk about two coons, too, that sat around here and tried to justify Roseanne Barr. The two coons.
Ooh.
I already know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about, don't you? Demon and Stink.
Burnt coal and spider spit.
Yeah. They came up here and tried to justify it.
Yeah.
And why they getting these two caricatures of Ratchet? I mean, penciled on eyebrows, weave, lace front, polyester. And they don't even understand. I mean, I understand they making money, but they the characters of coons and Ratchet. And here they go. Well, people on the left be talking about us, call us. No. People on the left, it ain't people left. Your people, our people, be calling you Ratchet and coons.
Right.
It ain't no people on the left. It's people in the dark folk. We calling y'all that. White people don't call y'all no coons. Black folks call y'all coons. Because like they said in the movie Bamboo, sometimes a coon is a coon. Boy, look. Don't let me get started today with this foolishness. So let's go back to Roseanne Barr. We kind of jumping off the track here. So she gets up here. Oh, and didn't know that the sister that runs ABC was a black woman. Why she up here running on her mouth, and then had the nerve to blame Ambien for it. Now that's beautiful.
Yeah,
Ambien.
They even.
I thought that was like Ambien. Wasn't that stuff for like complexion?
Yeah.
Oh, that Ambi.
You know, they released
I thought, I used to watch it on Soul Train. I thought it was Ambi.
Yeah, they released a statement saying their medicine don't cause racism.
Right.
Now the drugs is causing us to be racist. Let me look what's in this slush right quick. Well, because there might be some racism in here. Just bottled up.
Here's the thing about Ambien. Ambien is a sleeping pill, okay? Now, here's my take on that. Maybe she took the sleeping pill and never went to sleep, so she probably got to hallucinating and doing all types of stuff. So
instead of staying woke.
Yeah. She should have went to sleep and shut her mouth. That's what she should have did. But and look, let's not play any games here because okay, our hoteps had to come in and chime in on this too. They said she been doing this for the longest. Nazi uniform. Yeah. Look, let me tell you something. Let me explain something. Malcolm X talked about this a long time ago about the southern wolves and the northern foxes. Okay. Roseanne Barr is a typical blue-collar, working-class northern racist. And the problem with it, I know because I grew up in New York with them. And you see them all day. You go to Brooklyn, you go out here to Queens, you had certain Irish and Italian cats did not want you in their neighborhoods. Now, here's the thing. New York is a very diverse city, okay? Blacks, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Italians, Irish, Jews, everything. We are a melting pot, okay? But it doesn't mean Russians. Oh, Lord, don't go to Brighton Beach. But let's just be real about this, okay? West Indians, Africans. So just understand this. We are a melting pot in the city in the 5 boroughs. But there's still certain parts of Brooklyn you don't go to. And certain parts of Queens you don't go to. Yusuf Hawkins, and stuff like that. There's certain parts that are still predominant in that area, and they don't do that. And even though you have people that have lived around these people all their lives, they still don't prefer us there. And that is the type of northerner, union card, union person, working class, husband drive trucks type person. And those are those type of northerners. You see them in Pennsylvania. You see them in upstate New York. You see them in certain parts of Jersey because they wanted to get the hell up out of New York. They didn't want to be around they didn't want to be around the Guala Gualas, and they didn't want to be around the Spickaroons. They didn't want to be around us, so they fled to Jersey, got their nice little house out in Jersey, and that's what it is. So let's just and they couldn't get away from us. What they did, they didn't want to see as much of us. You understand what I'm saying? And also the biggest white flight in New York was also going out to Long Island. Now Long Island has been taken over. So let's just be real about what it is. You have these type of people, and everybody say, well, she was just so, how did they say it? She was just so, I guess, liberal with her views until, I guess Donald Trump came off, and then she started, look, okay, I'm gonna help y'all out. Let me help y'all out.
As far as that go, that's the whole reason that she and Bill Maher kind of beefing right now because he called her out on that whole thing. Really? They're actually close friends, and Bill Maher has a segment on his show called New Rules.
Yeah, New Rules, right?
And he basically pointed out, hey, look, new rule, Roseanne, you messed up. Understand? Come back to the fold,
right?
Because what you were doing, you were trying to pander to the masses.
Right.
You were trying to pander to the Trump supporters. And what we already know about you and what we knew about you years ago, you were always, at first, you were more of a liberal.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So for you to jump ship just for ratings, just for, for the sake of appealing to a fan base that going to get you the money, it's going to make you the hit that you were. Keyword, were. Then, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the thing. Like, you pandering for money. So it's like you threw your
black
values
conservatives do that.
away.
Look, black conservatives do that. Let me tell you about our people. Demon instinct. y'all the black folks, we the worst. Let me tell you something I found out. J.C. Watts. You remember him back in the 90s. Oh, he was the black media darling because he was one of the lone Negroes. He was one of the lone Negroes. There was a Republican. Okay? Remember him. I knew somebody that knew him back when he was in Oklahoma. Why they black folks in Oklahoma, I still to this day do not understand it. Okay? He was in Oklahoma. They said when dude was in college, he was the most Black Pantherish, radical dude that you ever met when he played ball. As soon as he went into politics, he cleaned himself up. Talk about he went and got very conservative, and black people, we need to stop that. We panic because I'm gonna tell you who's a big example of that. What's her name? They came out with Kanye, Candace. What's her last name?
Candace Owens.
Yeah, they said that she was big on pro-black causes till about 2 years ago. Then all of a sudden she jumped on the bandwagon. Now she's bashing Black Lives Matter, and I'm appalled how they have taken Black Lives Matter and basically morphed it into a hate group. But that shows you the power of the right-wing media. People always want to talk about the left-wing media. The right-wing media is more powerful than anything in this country, and it's propaganda. It's a fascist propaganda that people are using. So when people sit around here now, and I look at white people and they say nothing nice about Black Lives Matter because they don't even want to talk about the reason that Black Lives Matter exists. They just want to say they're a hate group, they're a terrorist group. Really, when did Black Lives Matter blown up a building? When did Black Lives Matter actually sat around here and openly came out condoning shooting cops? When did Black Lives Matter ever sat around here and told black people just go around punching people in the mouth like I do?
The point is they don't want to feel guilty.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. They don't want us to rub it in their face. They don't want to feel guilty about it. They want to keep living their lives like nothing else matters, like nothing else is going to happen, like everything's going to be cool if something else does happen, and they can just wash their hands of it. Plain and simple.
Well, the revolution will be televised. People need to understand that. And for all you Negroes, think just because you done made a little piece of money under Donald Trump, you better understand they're going to come for you next. So you better understand that hatred shows no rational reason. Period. These very fine people will hang you, but nothing but the thing going through their behind. So understand this. Understand this. So when we talk about Roseanne and we talk about what she said, and now I heard, wait a minute, am I hearing this right? Did she blame Wanda Sykes for what happened? No. She didn't? Is that
Wanda
some
Sykes
fake news?
quit.
Huh?
Wanda Sykes quit. She did kind of lash out on like the cast.
Why?
Was
the cast made an Ambien?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering.
It was just she, with all this stuff happening, she's responsible for a lot of jobs. With great power comes great responsibility.
Right.
So you basically
Spider-Man, yeah.
tarnished, livelihood for a great amount of people.
Right.
The ones that hadn't just abandoned you,
right,
once this hit the fan,
right,
like Wanda Sykes did. She, as soon as it happened, she said, "Look, I'm gone, deuces." But everybody else tried to stick.
So
and stay.
basically, nobody even recognized that she was kind of like. But I mean, I still have an issue, and I don't know when she did the Nazi uniform, if she was just doing that to be provocative. Or what she was doing.
That was some years ago. That wasn't the only thing that she did. That was just one of the bigger things because they ended up putting it in the newspaper. But if you remember, and this is probably the one that really strikes the chord, but they're not talking about it as much because of the climate that we're in right now. She was at a baseball game. And she was supposed to sing the national anthem.
Butchered it.
And she chopped it up. And everybody was booing her. And after she finished, she spit on the ground,
and grabbed
her crotch, and walked away with her arms stretched out like, yeah, I'm this, I'm
right,
that, I'm
I
the
did
star.
that. Yeah,
like,
I did that. Right.
So she's always had this behavior. And the thing is, we've just ignored it for so long because Roseanne was Roseanne. And the thing is, because I'm not going to in front. Like, even when I was a kid, I used to watch the Roseanne show. I didn't understand it because I was a kid, but it was something
everybody
that my mom
said that
used
it was
to watch.
the move. Everybody said it was.
So it was the move.
Watch,
it was the move because that was, you got to remember, ABC had that whole little weekend block.
Right.
So you wanted to watch every show on that weekend block, and it didn't really matter.
Like Golden Girls.
Exactly.
Nobody cared about Golden, but everybody said it was the thing to watch.
Exactly.
Right.
So, you got to understand that influence. It was like, with her trying to be on the whole Trump thing, and I honestly, and everybody want to go at the lady who owns ABC, but I was trying to make a bright side to this whole thing. I was thinking maybe, as a black woman, maybe she was trying to change the narrative. Maybe she had some good intention, and that's why they even brought in the black writers and so on, so forth and so on. As far as all
so
the people
is that
that
show
were hired
being
for
written
that
by
show.
black writers?
Some to an extent,
some
yeah.
of them,
That's
some
that's
Black
kind of
writers.
where how we found out about Wanda Sykes,
Right.
and why she left. But yeah, I honestly think at one point maybe they were trying to change the narrative, trying to kind of release some of that tension and stress that people were feeling about this man being in office. They were trying to kind of pan it out and make it even,
Right.
almost. But
Right.
you can't do that with somebody like that, man. Like he's
No, you can't stop Cray. You
He's
can't-
basically
Right.
made
If
it
they
okay.
Cray, they Cray. Right.
He's basically made it okay to be openly racist,
Right.
Right.
and so
And even let's go one further. He's not only made it okay to be openly racist. He's made it easy for people to be openly provocative. If people want to have a Tourette syndrome moment, they can just have it. How you doing? How with you? I'm okay. How you doing? That's what people are nowadays.
it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
But kind of like to spin off what you said about Roseanne, she butchered the national anthem. She spits on the ground, and we still, at that point in time, her show is still live, and people are watching it. You have Colin Kaepernick who takes a kneel, and now he can't even play. I mean, and he's really
Right.
That's
This
the
is
point.
his craft.
That's the
So
exact
you
point.
And
have
that's
to
the
wonder,
problem.
right? It's same technique, different face.
Well, let's understand one thing. We talk about free speech and hate speech. Hate speech supposedly is not protected by the Constitution. So,
Right.
but free speech, even though it's protected by the Constitution, does not mean that you don't suffer consequences for your free speech. Okay? And when we say hate speech is not protected by the Constitution, let's just be real. They can say that all day, but if that was true and the government really felt that way, then the Ku Klux Klan and hate groups would not exist. A lot of these things that Republicans say would not exist if they're not constitutionally protected. Because then that means if they said something that was so appalling or provocative or incendiary on TV, they could be sued legally. Okay? Because it's not protected. So my thing about it is you can say whatever you want to say, but you need to watch what you say, because free speech also comes with a consequence for what you say in free speech. Okay? So what I'm saying is you can free to say what you want, but you also have to take those consequences for what you say. So here's my thing. We out here, let's just say, we out today having lunch. And we go to a place where the businesses colonize on, but we're going to try black on. Okay?
Right.
We're going to say colonize on. So we go out here and we go to colonize. Now, you can come up to my table and say, hey, you three baboons, how y'all doing? Oh, look at Django. He sure got some big lips. Yep. Oh, y'all want watermelon and chicken specials? Now, hold on. They can say that. You are welcome to say that after I punch you in your mouth. Now, you welcome to say that. Okay? You welcome to say that. But I want you to understand that there are going to be consequences if I choose and I tell all my friends who are black, I don't care if you run a Olive Garden or if you run a Papa Do's. I don't care if you own a cheesecake factory. If it's white owned, and if I tell all my black friends, hey, I went in here and they referred to us as monkeys, baboons, apes, said that they don't have chicken and watermelon specials on the thing. You welcome to call me whatever you want to, as long as you know that when I get done, I'm gonna tell all my friends not to put money in your pockets, and I'm gonna bankrupt you to death by not doing it. Now, you can sit around here if you cool. Because black people, we're the biggest consumers in this country, and that's a damn shame. Because we doing all this consuming, we ain't got no money. We ain't got no money. We spend a lot of money. But my thing about it is that we're doing all this consuming. Now I can sit around and tell all my friends, look, don't go there and spend no money in their place, and you can see your money drop. That's the reason why I have a problem with the NFL. Remember we talked about that last week when we talked about the hypocrisy of the NFL policy. Let's just talk about since we talk about racism right quick. The hypocrisy of the NFL situation is, here's the thing. They want to sit around and say, well, players got to do this. And, we say, well, the players ain't no slaves. Yeah, but you are kind of indentured servants. When you don't realize that you have the power to stop the NFL dead in its tracks. Because trust me, ain't no bunch of fans going to pay good money to see a bunch of big, slow, chunky white boys go out there and catch that ball and run up and down that field. And I'm not saying that you don't have some beast white players. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they come to football. I can't believe I'm saying this, to see Des Bryant. They come to see Odell Beckham. Okay, they come. That's who they come to see. When they come see basketball, they're not up there to see the white player. They coming to see LeBron James. They come to see Steph Curry. They come to see DeMar Harden. They come to see all them. Okay, I'm sorry. Basketball ain't been white in 60 years. Primarily white in 60 years. Okay,
And it was created by a white man.
right. The only thing that is even remotely still even partially predominantly white in sports is what? Baseball and golf.
Right.
And hockey.
Yeah, and hockey.
It's all white.
And then Lord let us start learning to skate, and that's over with too.
I don't know
Let
about
us learn to
hockey.
start skating, and it's over with too.
Right.
No, because there's a lot of black people.
Yeah, there's some black guys in
But
Canadian
now-
hockey league. They
now
definitely
they're-
got some
Now the
black guys.
Frenchmen mostly, and Canadians, and they come from overseas. But yeah, it's a lot of them in there.
No.
Yeah, they're mostly in the Canadian leagues, but yeah. But let the black brothers here try to learn how to skate. Boy, look, we're gonna take that over too. So what I'm trying to get you to understand is there are repercussions. That's why I have an issue with the NFL, because the first thing the guy playing in the NFL said, let's let 75 decide we're not gonna play today on Sunday, and watch the money start dropping, and watch the NFL change its policy on kneeling. That's why I take a lot of shots out to that coach from the Jets, Stephen Carr. He said, no, he said, they get I pay for it. Because some people get it and some don't.
Right.
Some people get why they're doing it, and they don't. But you can't sit around here in this country, which is so phony, because you got so many people in this country, they want you to be outraged about their cause, but they don't have no sympathy about your cause. And it's the same cause. It's just different, coming out of different mouths.
So tell me this, Django. Do you think that it would be different? The perception would be different if there were white players kneeling instead?
Oh, yes. They're very
TM
fine
did it,
people.
and they let them get away with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because here's the point. And you say, yeah. Look, let's just put it like this. Every time a white person says some off-the-wall wacky stuff that pretends to be racist or racially insensitive or this, that, and the other, the first thing to do, the right wing, which is predominantly white, and a couple of coons mixed and sprinkled up in there. Get a couple of coons sprinkled up in there. The first thing they do is they come in there and they want to come in there and come to their defense.
Yep.
Yeah.
The minute a black person takes a knee, well, black people in this country, y'all done had it so good. Now we paying y'all. Oh, thank you, massa. I'll be good from now on, massa. Thank you for paying me. Thank you, massa.
Yeah.
Mr. Charlie, a good white folk boy. Let me tell you something. Now all of a sudden, we getting paid. Now we getting paid down there. Black folk, oh, y'all didn't never do. Boy, y'all don't know how good y'all done had it. Yes, thank you. After 250 years of working in back-breaking sweat from sun up to sundown, thank you for paying me what I feel that I'm worth, so you can make billions while you giving me a couple of million in my pocket, so I can go out here and live in the mansion. After 3 years, then you cut me off because you don't redraft me anymore. Now I'm filing bankruptcy after 10 years.
Not to mention I work hard for all of this all my life.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been doing this since junior high school. All of this. So let's just be real. It's a definite double standard. Think about it. Let's talk about Tim Tebow. Remember him?
Yep.
What did he do when he had an issue with supposedly certain religious themes in the NFL was pointing? What did he took
That was
a
the
knee.
reason he took a knee.
Yeah.
Took a knee.
And then he went to baseball.
Thank you.
Deuce.
And everybody would defend him. Oh, Tim Tebow took a knee. So understand they don't care about you. They never had cared about you. So my thing about it is we have to understand in this country that racism has become normalized. And I read an article the other day. We're going to go to break because we got some other trending we got to talk about. I read an article the other day when they talked about Barack Obama. He wanted to know, it's his post-presidency. And he was kind of lamenting how we ended up going as a country from him to Donald Trump. And the first thing, and I'm reading the article, and he said the first thing I realized is he said maybe people in this country did I come too early? That's what he was asking. He said maybe I'm 10, 20 years too early for some people. He said maybe what it is, people just want to fall back to their tribe. And that's what people do in this country. They fall back to their tribe, their tribalism. Mm-hmm. And that's how the only way you can explain it. Tribalism. We fall back to the tribe.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead, take us a break. We're going to come back. We got some interesting trending this week. It's been foolishness. But we will back be me, Head Sanford, and Hell and High Water. We will be back with Devil's Advocate.
Martin Luther King Jr. Commission makes a difference. We make a difference through nonviolence. We make a difference through diversity. Hacemos la diferencia a través de la diversidad. We make a difference through education. We make a difference through service. I have a dream. I have a dream. We are a dream.
The Arkansas Martin Luther King Jr. Commission makes a difference.
Poindexter Furniture has it going on. 3-piece motion set, $1099.99. Get a free area rug when you purchase any living room suit. Ashley Bitchcraft also available at Poindexter Furniture, 1613 South Main Street in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Call 870-534-2303. Don't forget to ask for other great deals. Who's got it going on? It's Poindexter Furniture in Pine Bluff.
Hey, when was the last time you thought about credit repair? Listen, we are a financial education service, and we help to restore, rebuild, and protect your credit. Helping good people with bad credit is what we do. All you have to do is call Juanita at 404-578-9889. That's 404-578-9889. No contract, and we can restore your credit score and lower your interest rates. That's right. No matter whether you have late payments, medical bills, student loans, or just identity theft problems, we can help. We are financial education service, and guess what? We're standing by waiting to hear from you. All you have to do is call Cornita today, 404-578-9889. That's 404-578-9889. A credit financial education service.
All right, party people, we are back. And thank you for you guys that have been in here joining us. Thank you today for our little soliloquy on racism like we don't know it exists. Uh-oh, I don't know. JC coming in here with the books. I don't know. I don't like that either. Okay. I have to add this here. But anyway. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for joining us. And I want to go and talk about something that's been in the news today. And it kind of seems inconsequential. What is going on with Drake and Pusha T? Oh, look at it. Hell, how war. There go your boyfriend just walking through the door. There you go. Look at he gonna run now. Look at he gonna run. He running. There go your boo walking right through the door right there. You gotta get him. He gave him glasses. He didn't even want to be seen.
Prayer works. Prayer works.
But what is going on with that? Somebody talk to me. What is that?
They got a beef going on, and I think Pusha T started it.
Yeah,
and then
73.
Yeah, and Drake responded, and then
actually, yeah, it go a little further. It go back. It started with the clip.
Yeah, it go back. It's years of beef. It's years of beef.
Yeah, it started with the clip.
Okay, well, hold on. Let's go and give people a little thing, because normally I don't like to hit on a lot of hip hop foolishness and battle rap, but let's talk about this. I'm gonna go and put my earphones to the side for this. What it goes back years, but explain to everybody, man, DJ with no name. Explain with them what happened and how all this got started and what exactly Pusha T said about Drake.
Okay, as far as the beef, it started Lil Wayne, like around the time it was Clips. Lil Wayne started wearing Bathing Ape clothing, which was like their whole thing, like that was going to be their way of branding themselves,
right?
When they were under Star Trek, which was For Real's label, and they wrote a song called "Mr. Me Too." That kind of caused issue between the labels, and so that's where the beef started. Years later, Drake, he inherits the beef by signing to Cash Money.
With Cash Money,
so,
right?
Pusha writes this song called Exodus. Fast forward, 6 years later, he drops this song. Now, if anybody for sake of understanding, he did it 6 years later. Drake considers himself the sixth god. So everything he did was calculated. Now, watch this. 6 years to the day, he drops this song. Then, on top of that, he hit him with the whole father-child thing.
Right.
During 6 months. Father's Day, he clowned, 40, his Drake's producer,
right,
who has multiple sclerosis.
Wow.
Now,
this is ugly. This is ugly.
Okay. Now, mind you, the day after he dropped his song was National MS Day.
Wow.
So you got to understand how calculated this really was.
Right.
Like, it's very, very calculated. Like, he made sure he got his points across to a T. Like, pun intended. But that's pretty much what it is. And not only that, the story of Adidon, which is the song that that everybody's really kind of clamoring about right now, just kind of killed Drake's rollout, because Drake has an album coming out this month as well,
right?
Scorpion. But he killed his rollout because Drake was also going to use the Adidas line, Adidon, named after his son Adonis, as part of the rollout, which Pusha had an issue with mostly. Which is why, if you listen to the song, the first line, he's saying, bars, put that aside. The whole story about me selling drugs, let's put all of that aside. Let's talk about your pride. So he really wanted to dig deep and kind of, because everybody was like, okay, this whole beef, is he going to keep clowning them about not writing his lyrics, which was...
Yeah, everybody been saying that about Drake for years, that he has a ghostwriter.
Ever since Meek Mill, that beef. So, they wanted you to get off of it. And so he said, okay, I'm going to get off of it. I'm going to go deeper. I'm going to dig for stuff that we speculated as rumor.
Right.
That got covered up, because Drake has an excellent management team.
Right.
So, I'm going to bring all of this stuff to the forefront. And not only that, I am going to kill your rollout. He killed his Adidas rollout. And as far as the album goes, we don't know. So, in a nutshell,
so he basically talked about his baby mama.
Yeah.
Is a stripper.
Porn star.
Yeah.
Oh, porn star.
A former porn star. I don't see why Drake done that, man. I just couldn't.
No, I'm gonna tell you why Drake done that. I'm about to tell you why he did that.
That happens all the time.
Really?
But that's
so men being led by their cojones is still being no. Let me tell you something. And see, like I said, I don't like talking about foolishness like this, because sometimes I think it's really like silly. But the issue I've always had with Drake, and look, I mean, he's had a massive career for 10 years. Don't get it twisted. And in hip hop, 10 years is an eternity. The issue I had with it is, it seems that everybody that Drake had tried to collab with, he's tried to holler at. And I'm like, bro, did you not? I mean, it was Rihanna. He tried to get at Rihanna, talking about that was his little sister, wink, wink. I'm like, bro, come on. When he did when she did What's My Name, he tried to holler at her. Then when he went and got on with Nicki Minaj, there was rumors flying around he was trying to holler at her. And that's when she was with Seraphie. So my thing about it, Safari or whatever the hell, I don't even know these guys' name, how they pronounce it. I'm old. I don't be trying to think. But my point is that, bruh, did you have an identity before you got into music? Did you not have an identity? It's like...
He was an actor.
Huh?
He was an actor.
He didn't have no identity. He was too young. He didn't have no identity.
Wheelchair Jimmy had it.
Right. Aubrey.
Everybody knew Wheelchair Jimmy.
Yeah.
So,
but what I'm saying is, he didn't really come into his own identity until he got with Cash Money, and then he tried to basically act the role with them. And you can always tell somebody's late to the party, and they a late bloomer, because when they're a late bloomer, they're gonna try to do everything overboard, and that's what he was doing. It was like every chick he was on a record with, he trying to date. Shouldn't be doing that, bro. You don't want your name rolling around like that.
But you know what?
Then they end up dating the porn star, having the kid by the porn, marrying them, and then spend 20 years of their life till they 40 trying to figure out why they did it.
And how many have fallen victim to that? I mean, that's celebrity.
Well, I'll let you know next time I find a porn star. But, I mean, I'm just saying.
But guys with money, they tend to distance themselves from morals. I mean, I have money now. I don't need to go to the church to get a woman. I can have anybody that I want.
No, if you got money, church is probably the best place you need to go to get a woman.
But it's always been common knowledge that he's always been into strippers and porn stars.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, why go? I mean, the only difference in church is what's the difference between church and the club? Nothing. You don't pay a cover. You just pay it later on down the line.
That's not true.
You know, you go to a club, you pay. You know, well, if you're a man, you're paying $5, $10, $20 depending on what city you in.
Yeah.
But
you
you got to give up that 10%.
With the prize. You don't always.
But you're gonna get. But what? Okay. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Church, you got music. Church, you got. Hold on. You got people of the opposite sex. You got dancing.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't have.
You got a DJ, pretty much. I mean, you know.
You ain't got a bar though.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's the only thing you're missing.
Yeah, they even give you in every first Sunday. They'll even give you a little wine and give you a little alcohol. You know what I'm saying? So
now we're about to catch on fire.
That should be next week's topic. We had that in the room, but when did you stop going to church? I never went to stop going to church. Church should always be in you.
That's right.
That's right.
Church is
That's right. So understand that, you know, when people say that, yeah, you're right. People come into it, and getting money makes people really who they are, doesn't it? It kind of brings out who they are.
Yeah.
First you was eating bologna and cheese. Now you done stepped up chicken breasts, and you done stepped up to chicken breasts and escargot.
I think it changes your pattern. It shouldn't necessarily change you. There are a lot of people who have money or who have come into affluence, and they still remain what they say true.
They remain true.
They remain true. You have broke people who act like they're rich and not. The stunners.
Oh, the bougies.
Right.
Well, the bougies are the worst.
Yes,
the bougies are the worst.
That's not the qualifier. It's, you know, people in their own mindset.
They on there, but they bougie. No, I don't eat no chicken thighs. You got some breasts in there. What did black folks always say? Well, no damn well our parents and grandparents grew us up on legs and quarters. Now all of a sudden we all eat. Well, I want breasts. I want breasts. Are they boneless? You know what I'm saying?
We have hypertension. We're dying.
But dark meat is the best meat for you. Dark meat is the best chicken for you. And I hate that because I like chicken because I like a lot of meat on my bones.
We know.
Okay, you know what? That wasn't even necessary right there. That right there was shade.
That was not.
That was shade. Why don't you direct the shade over there at your boyfriend sitting over there in the corner over there that you've been boxing with over here on Facebook and on live for the last couple of weeks? But now you want to come over here and be quiet and be a church mouse.
Why the
but then you
woman
want to come
always
shade
have to
on
be
me?
Angry? That wasn't shade. That was just a random utterance.
An observation.
Right. See?
Where's my ding bell? Ding. So let's talk about this. And Pusha T even went a little further. He talked about his family. Now, I'm sorry, that gets real raw. And I thought that there was a little bit. I mean, he psychoanalyzed the bro all the way down to his choices in women, his family structure, everything. And you know, of course, Derek is from mixed parentage.
Right.
And, you know, he was trying to talk about he does what he does with women because he misses his dad, who's a deadbeat. I'm like, wow. I mean, that's hard.
See, now, when does playing the dozens go too far? I mean, it goes
too far when you talk about my family.
Yeah, right. It gotta go too far.
That's where Drake started. Drake started that. He said in the Duppy freestyle, the line is, if you keep playing with me, I'm going to make it ring on you like Virginia Williams. Who is Virginia Williams? Virginia Williams is Pusha T's fiance.
Oh.
So, yeah, you crossed the line.
All bets are off. He started it.
Yes.
Yeah, he brought people in that shouldn't have been brought in there.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Drake dug his own self a
the
hole.
DJ with no name.
He made the bed. Now you have to lie in it.
Right. He on his skills. See, he on it today. So let's go ahead. Hold on. Let's see where we at here because we need to go and have here. Oh, we got 15 minutes. It'd be great to have a call from Stanley, like right about now. Stanley, Chandley. See, Nigga G ain't here today though. He ain't calling. Nigga G ain't here. He ain't called Nigga G ain't here, but you know he'll probably call in because he out of school now, so he can go and call us. I think he'll start beating them babies up and though. So let's go over here and talk while we up here just spitballing on trending and stuff. So since this Roseanne thing, because really it's a conversation time. But let me ask you this: all of us a little. I don't want to say racist. All of us a little prejudiced inside somewhere.
To an extent.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Do you think we all are?
Yeah.
Well, and I don't want to say racist because when we talk about racism, we're talking about an institutional thing like apartheid. That's what racism is. Racism starts from the racist view, which means that you believe inherently that one group of people is superior to another group of people. I don't believe anybody is superior to anybody. I believe all of us have our different. Okay, look. Black folks, we like to dance. That's just that's where our strengths is at. Okay? We like to dance. We have rhythm. We were graced with that by the Creator. And we are also graced with creative properties. And we are also graced with great intelligence. You know? And there are other subsets and groups of people from other regions that have certain strengths too. Does that make anybody superior? No, it just makes us all different. So when we sit around here and we say racism, that's the inherent belief that one group of people is good. And we also have another name that's called ethnocentrism. Okay? That your group of people is better than another group of people. Or your beliefs or views are engineered toward you and your people. Okay? So, when we sit around here and we talking about this, and we sitting around here and we laughing about this, black folks, we can be prejudiced, right? Can we be prejudiced?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We have preferences.
We have preferences.
Yes.
Preferences.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Like
So-
you just said, you prefer certain chicken meat over other meat. It's a matter of preference. That doesn't mean that you don't like all chicken.
This one here today.
I'm just trying to, use layman's terms so that people understand. If you have a preference, it's okay.
Right.
You like what you like.
You like what you like. So, like I said, if she can't share your comb, don't bring her home. That type of thing. That's what grandma used to say. Yeah. So are they all same color when the lights go out? So here's my thing. So we all have a preference, but my thing about it is, I think black folks, and when we talk about our biases and prejudices, I think our biases and prejudices come from a nature of distrust more than it just comes from a nature of dislike. Because basically, for the first couple of centuries here, we have never really met a lot of white people that were very good to us. You know, it's just like Chris Rock said. If you've been black in America, America has been good to you. Yeah, it has. To a group compared to what you've seen that goes on even today in Africa. But America is kind of like that rich uncle that gave you money, but then molested you behind closed doors. You see what I'm saying? So yes, I think our nature of bias and prejudice to a degree about white people comes from a nature of being misused. We've trusted white people. Remember, like 12 Years a Slave? I don't know if you ever watched that movie. And he went and trusted that white guy to help him out because the white guy was an indentured servant. And he like, man, look, he said, I'm going to trust you. He said, I don't trust very many people. He said, I want you to come out here and I need you to get this letter and tell them this is where I'm being held. I was kidnapped. I was shanghaied. The white guy went and turned the letter over to the man. So that showed you that even we've learned that even some white people that are well-meaning don't always mean us well. So that's where our nature of mistrust comes from. Okay, so when we talk about general racism, now you have some white people in this country that just generally think that we don't deserve to breathe God's free air. They think we are below them, and unfortunately. Not only is just the poor white people, there's some white people with that, that's the thing that's so interesting about how this country has been divided up, and it's very interesting. The elites of this country, the landowners, the rich people, the well-to-do politicians were able to convince poor white people that no matter how bad your situation is, we can treat you better than them dark folks right there. And if we can just keep you just marginally better than them dark folks. Because think about it like this. On the plantation, and if you ever watched 12 Years a Slave, if you've ever watched Birth of a Nation, the overseers were not wealthy landowners. The guys who were out in the field cracking the whip, whipping slaves, What's I hear about you whipping slaves? Right. Let me put them this thing to the post. Those were not rich white people. No. Those were working class, what do we call them? Redneck. Those were rednecks. That's what they were. Those were guys that would work for the rich landowner. The rich landowner didn't do nothing. He sat up on the plantation drinking his mint julep and his lemonade and iced tea. He didn't get out in the field. All that he wanted to know when that cotton didn't come, when that cotton was a little light. The overseers, those are the people that came out there and whipped us. Those were working class, the Roseanne bars. That's who those were. That's who they were. Okay, they weren't the Donald Trump was the dude sitting there drinking the mint julep. So yeah, go out there and And here's the funny thing about when we talk about even Donald Trump. When we talk about the stuff he's done, Donald Trump is a prime example of Roseanne Barr, and I'm gonna tell you why. Beyond what people believe, let me tell y'all some facts. Donald Trump is not a Republican, people. Never has been. Never has been. He ran as a Republican. Donald Trump has never been a Republican. He's always been a northern New York supposedly working class Democrat. The only difference was he was an elite. He was a dude with working class bigoted values with money. That's the only thing he was. Remember what I told you? You have that up in New York. You have that up in New York. You have what I call those Peter Kings that be up in New York. They sit around here and live around people, but they come from them districts where they don't want black folk. Or they don't want Muslims. They don't want them in their area. So Donald Trump, he has always been a Northern Democrat. People need to do their research on him. He has never been a Republican. He had never even claimed Republican. He has always been there. And I'm not saying this to say that Democrats and Republicans are the same thing per se. I'm saying this to say is learn when you being hosed. Okay, learn when you being hosed. He ran as a Republican, and all these so-called conservatives are lashing on him. But yes, that's what Donald Trump always was. He was a conservative Democrat. You got a lot of them in the North. A lot of them. Okay? So when we talk about can we all be racist? Yeah, we can all be prejudiced. We can't all be racist. So DJ No Name, let me ask you a question. Do you believe that? Do you believe that black people can be racist? Because we've always had that talk.
No, racism is a construct.
It's a construct.
Yeah, we can't be, because the construct that racism is based on, we can't be a part of that, because it's a power thing.
Right.
And it's a money thing. It's based on economic. Going back to the topic earlier, as far as, the guy who said slavery was based on economics and not race.
Right.
That is true.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because you have to understand, Africa was one of those continents that had, and it's the continent that has every resource known to man. It's the only one. So, yeah, it was about economics. It was about money. It was about resources.
Right.
Like, the way that they've spun history, they've taken a mineral rich land, a land that has so much promise for us.
Right.
And they said, well, these people were uncivilized. They're living in sticks. They're doing this. They're doing that. And they kept rehashing that image to America.
Right.
To make it seem like
that black folks were uncivilized, living in jungles, running with monkeys and all that. Right.
You're taking everything from that continent, from the people to the resources.
Right.
You're still eating off of it to this day.
Right.
So Kanye shrugged.
Yeah, and it wasn't just Africa. They've done it in India. They've done it. We got a phone call? Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. We got a phone call. Guess who this could be? Hello, Devil's Advocate Radio. We're your racist right-wing stop to punch him in the mouth.
Hey, what's up, man? I can't talk long. I'm in line for these Roseanne auditions.
Boy, what's up, Stanley? How you doing, boy?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm the only one in line. Is there something I'm missing? Something like they got this sign say Roseanne audition, and I'm the only one here.
Oh, you the only one at the Roseanne audition?
Yeah. Did I miss something?
Yeah, they were looking for somebody to get shot down or answering the door. That's what it was. They said only black dudes only apply. That's what it was.
Oh man, I got to check my Twitter in. I need to get back off black Twitter. I'm on white Twitter. It's not working for me.
Oh my goodness. So talk to us, bro. We got a few minutes. I'm glad you could call us in today. Talk to us. Tell us about what you feel about this Roseanne thing, and of course Drake and your boy Pusha T. Talk to us.
First of all, I want to let y'all know I'm on the program for Drake's funeral.
Damn!
I'm gonna be a pallbearer.
You gonna be a pallbearer for Drake?
He didn't body young Drake.
Yeah, he did that. Yeah. Drake caught that L on that one.
Let me tell you something, man. There's nothing worse than telling another black man his hair is not nappy enough.
Yeah.
Like
when you got braid, he had braid.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't mention the picture either, did we?
That's almost like dating a chick and you put in all that work and she on the side of the bed eating a bowl of cereal or watching cartoons. You ain't doing that.
Yeah, he did that. So, what do you think about what happened with Roseanne? Does it surprise you, bro?
Well, growing up in the South, my papa used to always say, "You can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig."
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried about why y'all confused about them pork chops.
Boy, you stupid. Pork chops.
I mean, she ain't like y'all color folks when y'all paid her millions the first time around. So I thought y'all thought because she had a black grandbaby it was gonna be different the second time around. Okay.
Nah, bro, it's the same old pig in a hat.
And so rather than Kanye, I'm gonna do an Uncle Ruckus shrug.
Relation.
All right. So yeah, Roseanne don't surprise me. What surprised me is that they were surprised.
Thank you. That's what surprised me that you.
But
surprised
I tell you
that.
what, though, I'm buying some ABC stock because baby, the way they handled it, whoever wrote that statement is my new favorite person.
Ooh, boy, you all won today. So how's it feeling? You free for the summer, ain't you? Did they give you free?
No, man, they still got us picking this cotton, man. We just don't have to pick it as much.
Better watch out, because John Goodman might be the overseer. Boy, go pick that cotton, boy.
Yeah, and he gonna really have a bad attitude because she cost. I think the worst thing about all of it is you got to realize when you being stupid that you can affect other folks' money.
Right.
Like, I can come up there and act a fool all the time, but I don't want Dave to talk about me on Black Focus Weekly. So I got to make sure I got my ducks in the line because you never know when you're going to see Nick and G's picture with that napkin in it. I just got to have everything done the right way.
Boy, Nicky G, that's a shout out to you, darling. So where do we go from here with this racist thing? Do you think this upcoming midterm election is going to change around? Because do you think we got to squash the racist voices in this country? Can we?
Well, I think the only thing that these good colonizers don't realize is that these young kids don't see it like they see it.
Right.
I was at a restaurant the other day, and a young white kid says, "Hey, I hope I'm not offending you, but what are your thoughts on the Pusha T and Drake thing?" And the kid explained to me that his era, because he's 20, 22.
Yeah.
His era is, he thinks Lil Wayne is the greatest rapper ever because that's his era. He's like Eminem, Lil Wayne, Andre 3000.
Right.
When you talk to people in our age group, and y'all older than me, but it's cool. You'll probably say Sugar Hill Gang. But our era is gonna pretty much say Biggie Smalls, Tupac, Nas, and then two fillers. And so it's just interesting. These younger kids that are about to vote, this next generation of voting, don't really see it quite as twisted as their predecessor. So I think, I doubt we won't. I don't know if I'll live long enough to see another black president, but I think that there definitely will be enough changes that will reflect some of our thoughts and beliefs.
Okay. Well, thank you, Stan. I appreciate you calling, boy. I hate to cut you short. Now, you got to call a little early so we can get you and get your full rap. But we got this.
Man, I just got my Obama phone charged, man. The car charged. One more thing before I go. I do got to say one more thing.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm being real serious, so make sure y'all got me tuned in.
Okay,
we got you. Listening?
We listening.
Mama, I love you. P.O.P., baby.
Boy, get off my phone. Bye. Boy, hang him up. Boy, we are out today. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you, Miss Helen Highwater, for coming in, standing for your girl, Nikki G.
Yeah.
Of course, thank you, my buddy Head Savage, and of course, the DJ with no name. Thank you, appreciate it, bro.
No problem,
we'll see you guys next week. Oh, shout out to Curly and Big Will for Black Swan Catering. Thank you for sponsoring us. And don't forget, Devil's Advocates. Look, we got another movie night this summer coming up. Stay tuned for it. And we got an upcoming picnic for Labor Day weekend. We're going to get some food on. We're going to get our food on. We're going to be hungry, too. Well, I hope you're hungry. We're going to make some shit and loaves. We're going to be all we're going to be hungry. But we want to thank you guys. We'll see you guys again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And don't forget.